Hey y'all, how are y'all? I am Donna Stylz. I'm the executive director of Black Trans Women's Inc. and the host and creator of Marsha's Plate podcast. Today we are going to talk about trans in Trumpland. It is a 4-part documentary series that is on the Topic platform. It is directed by Tony Zostrofton. It is produced by some heavy hitters. So we got Trace Lissette is a producer. That she is an actress from like Transparent and Hustlers. Remember Hustlers with Jennifer Lopez, all that. So she was an actress on there. Charla Mann from Titans and Miss Major. I mean the elder icon, Miss Major. Hey everybody. Hey Brandon. Hey Cocoa Butter. Hey Godly, Ungodly. So this 4-part documentary series was produced by those 3 people, Trace, Miss Major, and Chella Mann. And I thought it was quite amazing. I thought it was well done. I thought it was insightful and really shared some nuances about the trans experience from different cultures, different identities, and it just shared a lot of it just came out last night, so I don't expect everybody to have watched it. And I think there's a paywall, so I don't think it's on the platforms that everybody might have. Yeah. So I just use my free trial. I ain't gonna be paying them nothing else. I'm gonna pay for that. But that's about it. That's what's gonna be for me. But yes, they did a really, really good job. So the director is a trans guy, and within the story, he shared a lot of his experiences as well. It's on Amazon Prime. I should have Prime. I don't know why it didn't show up on my Prime, but yeah. Anyway, but yes, it's on Prime Video, Amazon Prime. But I don't know if is it on Prime? I know when I looked on Prime, it didn't show up for me to get it for free like my normal Prime stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. Anyway, but I know the platform that it's on is Topic. So it is called Trans in Trumpland. So it follows 4 episodes, and it follows 4 trans people of different backgrounds. So the first one is a young trans guy by the name of Ash in North Carolina. Rebecca, trans woman of Latinx experience, immigrant in Texas. Yvonne, Black trans woman in Jackson, Mississippi. And Shane Ortega, who is a Two-Spirit indigenous with indigenous background, living in Idaho. So I thought that the 3 choices. So Ash is white, Rebecca is trans woman, Latinx, Yvonne is a trans. So they have 2 trans masculine people and 2 trans feminine people from not all backgrounds, but a white one, a Latinx one, a Black one, and 2 indigenous. And I thought the way they weaved each story and showed how all of our experiences, despite our background, they are attacking us from all levels. It don't matter if you're trans, it don't matter the career you choose, military, activism, whatever career you're in, they're attacking you from all sides. And I thought it was beautiful. Yes, it has 4 episodes. Absolutely. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Deja. Who else? Yes, 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 yes. So I wanted to talk about, just what I kind of. It's not going to be long. We're going to have tons of time to talk about other stuff, but I just want to give my initial thoughts on it. So the Ash episode, because Ash is the youngest one of all, they start with the youngest white trans person. Early, the first episode is about the experiences that he is having in his, he's a young trans guy. So the experiences that he's having, he has a supportive mom, but all the barriers in getting his medication, his mom share her experience, and um, it's quite interesting having a supportive mom in these really, really conservative areas, and how they, not only how he is experiencing these kind of barriers when it comes to getting his care, but his mom and how she is experiencing the barriers trying to be a supportive parent. Not even trying to, we always have the narrative of, the parents who are shady and blah, 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 blah. You feel what I'm saying? But this not only not only is she's not a shady parent, but she's trying to support her child. She's an herbalist. She's trying to support her child, but she is coming against barriers and walls and all that kind of bullshit when it comes to giving her child life-saving care when it comes to their transness. And so I thought that was quite amazing. In the first episode with Ash, and I don't know if this will be controversial. Let me see, how can I say this? No, I'm not gonna say it like that. So there are in my transness that when I hear other people's trans experience, I don't have any. There's certain levels of dysphoria that I didn't have. There is certain levels of hate for myself and my body that I didn't have. There are certain responses to certain things that my life didn't afford me to have. Like, and this doesn't, I'm not saying this as if what somebody else goes through, like they should be shamed about that, anything like that. But like, for example, I talked about suicidal ideations. My dysphoria did not reach levels to where I wanted to kill myself. That narrative about transness, I didn't have that. The level of when I look in the mirror, I hate myself. Were there some incongruencies and I wanted to do change? Yes, but to where the self-hate that I couldn't look in the mirror at my trans body and hated myself, I don't have that narrative, so I don't relate to that. So it's always quite interesting to hear other people who have that such strong dysphoria to where it affects them in that kind of way. How my dysphoria manifested for me, once I knew that there were possibilities, like once I knew that getting on hormones would change things, once I knew, at the time I was younger, black market surgeries, like silicone and da-da-da-da, and then, implants, and then further down the line, FFS, further down the line, BBLs, whatever, electrolysis, whatever surgeries that were associated in my mind when I was younger with changing my body and getting sex change, that's the kind of antiquated gender reaffirming, gender affirming surgery. However they're calling it, the young whippersnappers are calling it these days. When I was younger, it was called the sex change. So those surgeries, once I realized that those things were a possibility, how it shifted in my brain, it was it was like, oh, I have a path to get on. Like I have a path now to success. So there was no reason, and this may be how my brain works just naturally, because I think about other conversations that I have with my friends and conversation that I have just about how I navigate problems in my particular life. Um, once I see a solution, I am no longer sad about, or not even a solution, a pathway to a solution. Do you see what I'm saying? I am no longer mentally dampened by whatever the problem is. So a lot of times I hear people say, "Oh, this is the problem," and they go through this like dwelling on the problem and crying and sadness and da 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 da. That's not really how my mind works. When there's a problem that comes up in my life, the initial finding out about the problem is like, oh, this is devastating, or oh, you get what I'm saying? Like there might be some sadness, or might be some anger, or might be whatever the initial response to the problem. That it might happen in the moment that I find out a problem, or the moment that I realize a problem, or while I'm going through the problem but haven't found a solution. It may happen in that, but once I realize that there is a solution, once getting your pussy, yeah, we would call it getting your pussy right. But once I realize that I have a plan, not necessarily a solution, because sometimes you have to plan and you have to get to the solution. Once I have a plan and it's viable and it is appropriate and I feel like it can solve the problem, I'm no longer dwelling on the problem. I am dwelling on the steps to get to the solution. So once I learned about hormones, I'm getting on hormones. Let's let them take effect. Once I learned about silicone, how much money do I save to go get the silicone so they can do my face, so they can do my tits, so they can do my hips, so they can do my ass, so they can do whatever I need to do. In my mind, I think about what the solutions are. Oh, I'm getting sex change. Like FFS and sex change for me in my younger years was an astronomical number. Thinking about getting $30,000 for FFS, or $20,000, or if you're going to Thailand, what was it, 8,000 at one point? Oh, I don't know. So I don't know what the rates is now, because I'm not trying to get no vaginoplasty. I'm not trying to get that right now, so I don't I don't know the current rates and prices or whatever. But when I was younger, being a teenager, not having worked at a lot of jobs, the numbers that I would hear that these things cost were astronomical. $30,000 for a surgery at 16. I'm like, what? I've never seen that much money. I'll never make that much money. And I'm doing calculating the numbers on my Wendy's check. And I'm calculating the numbers on my Wendy's check. I'm like, I'll never make it to that. So those goals were so astronomical, but I had other goals that once I saw a solution to the other goals, getting on hormones, getting silicone, I had these, to me, those were satiating. Like those were the things that was like, okay, once I get here, I'll get this stuff done, and then the other stuff will come later. And so I didn't dwell I didn't have dysphoria in the same. I had dysphoria, but just not in the same way that I hear people manifested. It manifested in other people. And then I hate making this. I don't know if I want to say this. This may be problematic, but it is what it is. Y'all know. So sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I haven't thought through everything that circulates in my head about certain things. I feel like, if I'm going to be quite honest, I feel like my Blackness informed how I dealt with dysphoria. I feel like, because of the things that we have to go through as Black people, some of the little bullshit that people in non-black cultures, I don't want to say bullshit, that's not right. I don't know how to, so forgive me if I'm offending anybody. Let me just preface with that. I'm working this out with y'all. So I haven't thought this all the way through, but this is the thing I thought about when I think about these things. So I haven't thought out this all the way through. Some of the shit that y'all be going through, non-black people, I'd be like, really? That broke you? I'd be like, really, girl? Really, sweetie? That it just for me as a black person who grew up poor, who grew up in the hood, who grew up, going through some shit. Some of the things that I see people going through, I just be like, I don't think that could have broke me. Like, even like pronouns. Like, okay, let's say pronouns and dead name. So for me, somebody using in the past, and even now, somebody trying to pop me with using my dead name because I grew up with motherfuckers trying to do that. Like motherfucker, queer people, like if somebody knew your dead name, a motherfucker will try to, if y'all playing the dozens and reading, a motherfucker will try to call you your old name just to kind of get under your skin as a trans woman. And you just will have to fight back. Not fight necessarily physically fight back. Sometimes you did. But they coming up how I come up, they're gonna try to use whatever to get under your skin. So a person gonna call you a shim. A motherfucker gonna call you a he, she. A motherfucker gonna try to, if they know your old name, they're gonna try to use your old name to get under your skin. And for me, I knew that this is what they're trying to do. I knew that this is what it was. So I'm not gonna. So like now, I'll be 40 on Sunday, sweetie. Somebody calling some fucking Trumper or some fucking cishet black dude calling me a faggot. I'm gonna be like, will it spark some type of anger in me in certain situations? Absolutely. But nigga, faggot? I've been called a faggot since I was fucking 4 and 5 years old. You think faggot is gonna make me kill myself? A faggot is not gonna make me kill shit. Faggot ain't gonna move me emotionally. I've been called a fag, a tranny, a fucking he, she, a shim. I done been called all that shit all my life. Get motherfucker original. That shit don't move me to where I want to kill myself. And so when I hear people when I hear people that those things pushes them to that, it's just an alien experience for me. I can't relate to that. It's not saying that they're wrong or, everybody is not as strong as me. Everybody don't deal with what I've dealt with in my life. But I feel like my blackness, my life coming up, dealing with like somebody calling me, keeping it 100 for real. I've been called faggot more than I've been called nigger. The first time that I ever been called nigger never in my face, like somebody coming up to me in my face, bitch, I would be in jail. But the first time with my own ears that I've ever been called a nigger was I was in my 30s in Chicago. We were on the bus. We was on the train and we were singing Christmas carols, being loud, having some good old queer black fun in Chicago. It was me, Barrett TV, a bunch of like people that I met through YouTube, and we were having fun. And we were on a train singing with the homeless people, singing Christmas carols. And I guess we were irritating the white dude on the train. He didn't say nothing while we were on the train. Trust and believe that. But when we got off the train and the train started to move, he opened up the window and called us niggers. And I was 30 something. And that was the first time that I had ever with my own ears, somebody calling me a nigger. Like I had never experienced, that but I definitely have experienced being called a faggot, being called a he, she, being called queer, being called in the derogatory. I've experienced all of those things way more. Not now, don't get me wrong. Do not let me make you think that because I haven't been verbally assaulted with the word nigger, that I didn't experience racism tons of times. But the analogy that I give you in my particular life, this is the best analogy that I can give you. Say that I'm a little fish. I'm a little fish swimming through the ocean. This shark swimming through the ocean with me starts to chase me, okay, to eat me. So I'm running. Remember Finding Nemo when the sharks was chasing the little cute fish? So homophobia is the shark, okay? And so my little ass, in the moment, if I'm not politically woke, my little self can only focus on what's directly trying to get me. The shark, the shark that's chasing me to eat me up. So think of that shark as homophobia. Think of racism as, and most of my homophobia was coming from Black people because I was in community with Black people. I didn't grow up around white people. There was white people at school. I see them out or whatever, but who I was in community with, I was not in community with white people. I went to school with some, but in my neighborhood, people who I was going to the house with, who I was hanging out with, places that I was going, it was not white folks. So the people who were showing me homophobia were Black people, male and female. Violence, usually male. Female were more subtle and shady in their tone, in their women weren't violent, but they were violent verbally. Girls, women, boys, men, all of that. So as a little fish getting chased by this shark, this homophobia shark, if I'm not woke, I would think that, oh my God, I was more affected by this homophobia. I've been shaded by Black people more than white people. If I get more shit about my transness and about my homophobia from Black people. Like if you're not politically woke, then you would think like that because this is the imminent danger. This is the one that's in front of you because it looks like, oh my God, I'm not getting called nigger. I'm getting called faggot and shim. So this looks like the main one. But racism is the polluted water that we are both swimming in. That's killing us both. So this may seem like the imminent danger, but racism is the water we're swimming in. So it's constantly affecting us. That's going to eventually kill us. So that's the best analogy that I can give you is that so that has affected because racism affected where I had to live at. It affected the schools I have to go to. So no, I'm not getting called faggots and shit by the white people making the decision or white people at all because they're not in my life, but the politicians and the policymakers and the people who made the rules about where Black people through redlining and gerrymandering and where I could live, what healthcare that I have access to as a little child, the healthcare that I had access to when I was in my mama's womb, who my mama could get healthcare from, what kind of stressors that she was under when I was in her womb, when I was being conceived, what kind of whatever was happening with my mama's life, racism was affecting that. Do you see what I'm saying? So before I even came to be, racism was affecting my life and in how I was going to maneuver and the opportunities that I was actually going to have. But when I got here and my personal self started to manifest and be a queer person, then homophobia came in and said, You see what I'm saying? So if I'm not woke about what has affected my life, I can think that homophobia is worse. I can be under the illusion that Black men and their hate is worse. But white men and their hate and patriarchy is actually worse and more pervasive. You see what I'm saying? Yes. If you look at the cases of black women getting murdered, it is our intimate partners, of black men, because we're the least likely to date outside of race, that is murdering us. But there is an element of pervasiveness of racism that puts us in situations where we have to be in certain communities, and we have to live a certain level of masculinity that is a little bit more, not totally more toxic, but a little bit more toxic to prove we are men. To not we, but you know, them. They have to prove that they are men, and so homophobia looks more toxic if you're just looking at it from this particular scope. Does it make sense? Just this particular scope. But if you open up wider, if you pull it back a little bit, you'll see how pervasive racism, patriarchy, homophobia, how all these things is a bubble. What Patricia Hill Collins talks about, the matrix of domination. We all have different matrices, different points of reference when it comes to the oppression we are under. And not just, and it's not, when we talk about intersectionality, intersection is about this point, and we're talking about the middle of those 2 points. You know, it's a little bit deeper than that. But when we talk about the matrix, we talk about a whole, think of it like a dome of where different points of reference when it comes to oppression and domination affects you in your life. And we are all under different points of contact when it comes to that particular oppression. So I hope y'all get that. So, and that's what I mean. My blackness, the things that I had to experience, the things that I had to deal with just being a black person, some of the things prepared me to handle my transness with a little bit more resilience, with a little bit more thicker skin. And so it was quite interesting seeing Ash's story and some of the things that happened that as a child, when I was going through some of the things, because I transitioned young and I was queer very young and knew that I was queer very young, you know, I just responded very differently. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't in a self-loathing response. When I grew up, how I grew up, when you disrespect me, we fight. And so it didn't turn. Somebody's being shady to me, calling me faggots, calling me a he, she, calling me that. It didn't turn inside to myself where I had a self-loathing. It turned to violence. I fought people. I bust people, stab people in the neck with pencil. Actually got expelled from my junior high school for stabbing a bitch in her fucking neck. Almost didn't graduate and go to high school because I got expelled for that. You not gonna play with me, I'm gonna wear you out. Now, I'm not saying that that's the better way to handle things, but I know for me, it didn't turn internally where I was self-harming. It didn't turn into, and everybody is not like me, I know that, but it didn't turn to me. And if you go back to some of my old videos, I say that. I feel like it's very controversial, but I feel like if you out here getting bullied and you feel like the only option that you have is to kill yourself, do us a favor and take out the people that bullied you. Because if you die, they're just going to go on and bully somebody else. Don't just take out yourself, because you're making us lose an ally in you, because you're special. We need whatever you were going to contribute to our community as you got older. You're taking that away from us in this legacy that we're trying to build for our children. You know, so when you take yourself out, you're making us lose an ally. But if you know for sure that you're going to take yourself out, take your bully out with you, because you don't need that motherfucker, because that leaves them. That leaves them with more allies than us. If you're going to take your own life, honey, help us out by taking their life too. Blow their head away, then you can do yours. It may feel harsh, but just on a numbers game. If you kill yourself, you are taking away from our team. And we already got low numbers. So at least try to even that shit out by taking out your bully. I've said this before on my channel. That's just what I feel. If you're going to do that, I suggest don't do it at all, either one of those things. But if you're going to do it, wear their ass out. Beat people last, take people out. It's harsh, but that's the reality. I'd much rather you take somebody with you than to take you. You are a valuable resource to our community. You may not know it as a person now, but if you take yourself out, we are losing that resource. And I much rather, if I'm going to lose some of our resources, I much rather the other side lose some of their resources too. May not feel good for me to say, but I've been saying this for years and I'm going to continue to say it. I don't want our people killing themselves. I don't want you to do that at all. But if you feel like that's your only option, let me add a step before that. And the step is take out your bully. So, let me see what y'all over here saying. All right. Saying as long as they're a viable solution, I'm good. Yes, Diamond, you look beautiful. Thank you, Will. Saying I need to start saving. I'm nervous that that'll take forever. Yeah, money things happen, but there's so many ways to make money. You can make money on Bigo. You can make money. There's so many ways to make money now that don't revolve around just going to a job. There's we are millennials. The millennials taught us. Well, not all of us, maybe whoever's listening, but Gen Z's definitely taught us. There's so many ways to make money. You got to have multiple streams of income, and there's multiple streams of income that you can create with the access of the internet that you can create yourself without the barrier of somebody discriminating against you. So there's so many more opportunities right now that can bring, it may not go fast, but it's way more opportunities than some of the trans people or queer people had back in the day. There's way more streams of income that you can make. And it wouldn't because of the ring. Your high's tougher. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think my blackness informed that. It makes sense. We usually are ready to put up with some level of bullshit, maybe a little or a lot, but there is usually always some level of bullshit, always. It might make me kill this blunt, but not me. Yes, honey, have some fun. Smoke some weed. I don't suggest doing harder stuff because, like I told you, my mom died of getting some bad drugs. So motherfuckers ain't looking out for you. I ain't never heard nobody ODing on no weed. So yeah, smoke some weed. You know, the hard stuff, motherfuckers out here dying on the opioid trips and different stuff like that. So smoke some weed, relax, enjoy yourself. Me too. Good evening, Donna. Hey, Marissa. Let's see. You preaching tonight. Come on now. Talk to him. Diamond, you're on point. Thank you. When I realized, and Raphael, thank you for your donation. That was so sweet. Thank you. I think that's you. Didn't you just become a patron? Thank you. I realized that my transness, I was like, this is a fucking joke. Back, dead ass, beat people ass is motto. Facts. Very well spoken, Miss Donna. P.S. You're absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Hey, Brianna. Whenever I think of you, I think of how I wish I had a thick ass skin as you. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is about me. Because my mother said I was always like that. So I can't say that I did anything to work it. Like I remember my mother is a sense she cares about what people think. When we were growing up, that's kind of like who she was. But it's something about, she said it's something about me that I didn't respond to embarrassment. Like she was when I was growing up, she would tell me like things that would embarrass normal people, she said, wouldn't embarrass me. Like it was almost like I was going through the world without the gaze of other people to consider. And yeah, like if I fall, like I remember she would say this too. She was like say you fall in front of people, like you don't get embarrassed by the fall. Like I would be embarrassed and shamed because I fell in front of people. She was like, you as a child, you wouldn't get embarrassed. And I remember growing up, shit like that, I'd be thinking, shit, everybody fall. Like I don't even It doesn't register that I should be embarrassed. Now, certain things would embarrass me. I don't want to say I don't have the feeling of embarrassment, but it wasn't until little bullshit doesn't embarrass me. Little, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know. I just always been like that. I care about what people think, but not to the point where it overrides what I think about myself. I care. Y'all, I get it. Everybody wants validation. I get on here. I care about what y'all think about me. I care about what I say to you, but not to the point that if you all didn't like me anymore, I would want to kill myself, or I would think that I was a bad person, or that I think that it will undermine who I am as a person. Nobody affects that about me. Only person who is even close to affecting my image of myself is probably my little brother. My little brother, Rakim. And even now that he's an adult, it is even that. But I remember I cared about what my brother thought about me. I cared about how I navigated in the world for my brother. I cared about his opinion about me because that was my little brother. That was somebody that is deep insetted in my heart, deep insetted in my psyche. So I care about what he thinks. And then it just get less and less shallow. You feel what I'm saying? My friends, I care about what my friends think about our friendship, but I don't care about what my friends think about me as a whole human being. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I am who I am, I'm going to constantly be who I am. But I've learned through multiple friendships that I had in my life that a lot of times what people think about you is really wrapped in their own trauma, about colorism, wrapped in their own trauma about classism, trapped in their own trauma around trust, you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of times, I've had friendships in my past and currently where we've had issues around different things, but it wasn't really about me. It wasn't that I did something to them. It was their own shit. And if there's something that I did wrong that is out, and I'm so reflective to me in myself that I can look and see what I did wrong. If I did something wrong in the situation. But it's a lot of situations that it didn't have anything to do with me. It was their own particular trauma or their own particular shit projected in what I represented either to them or as a person. So, I don't if I value you as a friend, then I'm going to care about how I show up for you. I'm going to care about if you're all right, if you're being taken care of. Am I a healthy part of your life? I want to be a healthy part of your life. That kind of thing. I care about I care about it, my friendships in that way, but I don't care about it to the point where I am going to feel negative about myself because I feel good about how I navigate the world. You feel what I'm saying? Like I feel good about how my intentions will never be to harm my friends. Now, we know about intention versus impact. Your intentions could be great as hell, but your impact could be negative. But I'm also willing that if my intention is good and my impact is harmful, then, I'm willing to be held accountable and I can listen and say, okay, I see your perspective and then I'll adjust my behavior, but I'm still not going to think, oh, I'm a bad person. Because for me, whether or not I'm a good or bad person is based on my intention to me. My changes in behavior are going to be based on impact. So if I need to change my behavior so I can have a positive impact, then I'm going to listen to what people are telling me so I can change my behavior. But I know from the root of what I'm doing, my intention is going to always be good. So I know my own personal mind that I'm a good person in that regard. And nobody can make me feel some kind of way. I got this shirt from Target. When that, you know how Target and all the rest of the other organizations, they always are doing something for pride, some kind of performative. So they had a section of pride items, and I got this shirt from there. Your heart is in the right place, right? When I know my heart is in the right place, and I'm not, because I don't know about nobody else. I know when I'm being shady. Like I'm never somebody who I'm very conscious in how I maneuver in the world. So I know if I'm being shady, I'm being intentionally shady. There's a point to my shadiness. So I have no I'm not under any delusion. So I don't think I ever could be in a situation where I didn't know I was being shady. I could be, but no, I wouldn't. I couldn't. No. I'm saying I couldn't. There may be some actions that somebody else could interpret to be shady, but when I'm being shady, I know that I'm being shady. Like I know I am. Like I know, honey, when I make this statement, it's a messy statement. Before I say it, if you watch some of my lives, sometimes I'll think when I'm thinking about it in my head before I say it, I will say, this may shake up because I think about what I say before I say it. So I just know when I don't think people are just out here not knowing that they shady, child. I hate when people play the game of, I didn't know that was offensive. Or I didn't know that was shady. How did you not know? That doesn't make sense. And I've been in a lot of situations like that where motherfuckers just pretend they didn't know. But anyway, let's go back to Trumpland. So the next person was Rebecca. That's episode 2. Rebecca was the trans feminine Latinx person. And we all I would rather buy pride stuff from other LGBT people. Yes, Jordan, I usually do, but I buy things from different people. Like when I'm at conferences, I buy it from LGBT people. But if I see something that I like at Target, I'm going to buy it. If I see something I like at Walmart, I'm going to buy it. But if I see a trans person selling something, I'm going to support that business as well. Or lesbian. It just depends. It really is in the moment for me. It's like whatever, And I don't even like to say slip up. I buy who I spend my money where I want to spend my money. It's not necessarily rooted in activism or politics. Sometimes I just want this, so I want it. So I buy it. But I try to support who I think deserves my support. What else? But yes, Rebecca, her story, I love how they intersect the immigrant story within the transness. It's what they really did good with this documentary is showing how we are in every culture. We are in every experience. We are somewhere involved in a situation, from Native American to being Black, from church to, Latinx and all this kind of stuff. And so her story really, she had got locked up by ICE because she's an immigrant, and how nuanced that can be for a trans person being locked up by ICE. You feel what I'm saying? So it's so many trans narratives. When we talk about being murdered and being killed, yes, there's a lot of times that, it's Black trans women. But when we talk about like deportations and immigrations, it's going to be Latinx trans women. They're going to get the brunt. Because I can't even imagine, not that I can't imagine. I know more, you know, deportation stories when it comes to Latinx immigrants more so than I have like African immigrants. Not that I haven't seen it at all, but I hear more stories about the Latinx immigrant being deported than I do about African folks. Um, you know, like African immigrants and Asian American immigrants and any other kind of immigrants. The ones who always seem to be getting deported is the one people from is the Latin community, Latinx community. So, not saying that other ones don't get deported at all, but the ones that I see commonly and hear about are the Latinx ones. So it's interesting for them to share that narrative because you don't hear about the trans narrative when it comes to immigration. Like when I hear about immigration, the mainstream is the cis heteronormative. Oh, we came here with our family for a better life. You never hear about queer immigrants. We never really hear their stories and how the intersection of being queer and being an immigrant plays out. We usually hear about the cis heteronormative stuff, like the mom bringing her kids over, the dad coming over, getting citizenship, bringing the mom, you know, the whole family unit coming over. Cis heteronormative family unit coming over and for a better life. That's usually, and then you hear the kids of these immigrant parents and how, you know, DACA helped them, and you know, my mom and dad brought me over here for their better life, and I'm the first college graduate. I'm the first. Da, da, da. You hear that story a lot. I don't hear about queer narratives, and so it was quite interesting to hear Latinx woman's perspective when it comes to being trans and being an immigrant, but also how they showcased the community that they had, you know, the community that they created. You know, places that they go, like they were talking about, you know, she made a point of, you know, I feel more comfortable in my community. And so, you know, I find solace being here, going to different locations where there's a big Hispanic community. And so she was like, I felt more safer, even within my transness, being a part of that. And so I thought that was quite interesting because I kind of agree with that as well. Like even though that the narrative is, oh, Black people are so much more. And I feel like this is a narrative for unwoke people. And it's almost on some, if you understand that your trauma and your harm and criminality is really based on your proximity, you're going to think Black is more homophobic if you're a Black person because you're in community with Black people. You're not in community with those other people to see what happens to the queer people in their life. Look at all these white queer people talking about getting kicked out and getting harassed and getting bullied. Of course, there's homophobia in white America. And of course, it's going to be a little bit more free over there too because they fucking white. They're going to have more freedom. They're going to have more access to liberation tools and tactics than we are. So there's going to be a lot of, you know, like white men. White men are able to be free. That's why you see them. That's why the stereotype of them is they're super freaks and they do all the freaky stuff. And that's some white people stuff because they have the liberation to be free, a little bit more free, particularly white women too. They have the liberation to be free and have access to different things so they can be freaky and be a little bit more open and be a little bit more less bound to the rules of patriarchy. Just a little bit. As a white trans femme, I can tell you that whiteness perpetuates the pinnacle of transphobia. White people look at me like I have two heads, brown, and Black people of color always treated me better. Yes, I can see you. I can totally see that because we have made inroads and building community, and you being a white person, because you're a white person coming, I don't want to say stepping down. That's not the right word. White people have always been invited to our spaces. Like they always, them coming to the slave barracks, coming, playing, trying to play the guitar and listening to our stuff and coming to our spaces was not abnormal. It was us not being accepted in their spaces. It was us not like, so you coming to us and being more accepted, I could get that. Like it would, you know, we always had the Eminems and the Paul Walls and the white people coming in and being a part of it. We didn't have access to y'all shit. So of course you're gonna feel more love and treated better with us. And you as a white person, you have a particular kind of power. Just being a white person when you come into a black space or you come into a brown space, it's just different. Different in even if we talk about look at Trace. People don't talk about this a lot, but look at Trace, like the beautiful triple threat Trace, white Trace coming into the ball scene and being uplifted as this pinnacle beauty, as this pinnacle thing. It would be easier for her, particularly because the ballroom scene problematically is rooted in European beauty standards. It's easy for her to come in and be uplifted as this amazing, passable sickening, not taking away from her beatness at all. She's sickening. But it's easy for her to come in and be the pinnacle of black ballroom culture. That's so easy for her to do because it's already rooted in European beauty standards. Do you feel what I'm saying? So of course she's going to find community in there, in that place. And if you're a white person that has some sensibility about blackness and you can be non-problematic in these spaces, you're gonna get embraced. You're gonna get embraced. Yeah, from the door they're giving her 10s. Yes, that's what it is. Especially if you have any kind of look, child, you beat like, cause she's sick, man. They're gonna eat you all up because you're the white girl. You got, oh, you the doll. Honey, you're the white femininity coming in our space, being a part of it. Oh, the doll. That and we're not gonna act like there's not any black people who don't celebrate that look and celebrate that white supremacy in their subconscious and secretly in their taste. So they're going to automatically make her the one. Black people have always treated whites, non-blacks in general, better, going back to ancient Africa when they first arrived, and passability, privilege, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's gonna the difference between your experience as a white person, in white circles, Jesse, yes. In white circles, Jesse, you are going to experience transphobia, but you're not going to have to experience anything else. You're not going to have to experience racism. You're not going to have to experience anything else in your white circles. You're going to have to experience transphobia. That whiteness cannot tolerate people who can't pass or whatever that means. Yeah. I think that's everybody. I think that particular is everybody. But I don't want to speak on whiteness because I'm not white. I observe whiteness and how it maneuvers. So what I see, I don't see y'all experiencing anything but pushing y'all out of that. You're not black excellence. I mean, not, of course you're not black. You're not white excellence because you're trans. You're not white excellence. So of course they're going to push you out of that. It's similar to how black people. No, I'm not even gonna say that. Not similar at all. But something I think about, and I'm gonna I'm editing a video. I don't know if have y'all heard of Triple Cripple on YouTube. Triple Cripple is is two black women with disabilities. One I think have polio, and one has MS and is in a wheelchair. And Kim Oliver Kim is just an amazing person. They are from the UK, and I did an interview with them, and it's coming. I'm editing it now, but one of the point of our conversations, because when I first met her, we got on the phone and we talked for like 4 hours. Like, oh my God, like we talked about 4 hours, and we just really pointed out the overlap in being transgender and being disabled. And so one of the points that Kim makes is black people kind of silence disabled black people because we don't reflect the black excellence that they want to see. A lot of times black people, when we're trying to give, because we are navigating the world in response to white supremacy, we want to put up this perfect image, respectability politics. And sometimes how respectability politics manifests is not always, oh, we're gonna uplift Rosa Parks instead of Claudette Colvin, because Rosa Parks is a respectable, organizing, blah 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 woman, and so we're gonna do her. We know that that's how it manifested in that particular moment, because they didn't uplift Claudette Colvin because she was a pregnant teenager, and so that didn't exude the black excellence that they needed at the time to push the narrative forward. They needed that image to push the narrative forward, and sometimes because we're reacting to white supremacy, we want to have the perfect image of black excellence. So it's going to be the perfect cis dude. It's going to be the perfect cis woman. It's not going to be trans black excellence, because trans is a stain on us. It's not going to be the prostitutes. It's not going to be the crackheads. It's not going to be any of the things that does not make us look like the perfect black specimen. We want to see the wife. We want to see the husband. We want to see the people in church with the kids taking care of their family, the woman being submissive, the man being the head of the household. We want to put those narratives out because that's just an amazing thing that we want to lift up. And so sometimes disabled excellence or trans excellence, queer excellence, even sometimes black woman excellence, if it does not fit into that modest, respectable woman, can be pushed to the side because it does not give the image. And I think sometimes in white culture, if you don't fit the image, they don't want you there either. If you don't fit that perfect white pinnacle, you don't get access to this echelon of privilege. Yeah, you're gonna get more access than black, queer, and brown people, but you're not gonna be in that upper echelon of people. So yes. So let's talk about Yvonne. So that was episode 3. So episode 2. That was my next episode. Yvonne is the black episode, and I actually know Yvonne, and Yvonne transitioned later in life. I remember Yvonne when she was still a boy, because I went to school in Mississippi, and Yvonne was one of the people that when she was a boy, they would see me and be like, yes, Miss Diamond, push through, bitch. Honey, you go Miss Jackson State, girl. Because in Jackson, Mississippi at the time that I came there were not a lot of full-time living trans women. There were not a lot of full-time living trans women at all. And so the ones that I knew, Keish, Carmen, Tiffany, it was only 3 that I knew that were all the time. Like when I came to Mississippi, it was so culturally, in regards to the trans community, it was so different than where I came from in Indianapolis. In Indianapolis, we had trans girls that had been living as women, living their truth. I'm trying to change my language. I hate saying living as women. It's almost like your that language is in my mind, it's becoming antiquated. But it's like you're living as women, almost like you have a costume, or I'm trying to say living in the truth of their womanhood. I'm trying to get acclimated in saying that. So anyway, so when there's a lot of people in Indianapolis that were living in their truth. And so me coming to a space from Indianapolis, not that was the most progressive city, because I'm sure in New York, they would have came to ours and been like, what? Or in San Francisco, came to ours and be like, what? This is so backwards. But going down to Jackson, it was so culturally different. Like there was girls who had implants who will go to work in men's suits, take their wigs off, and their face would be like, boy, and they'll have implants, but they'll have a blazer on covering up their titties because they couldn't go to work as a girl, as a woman. Isn't that strange? So it wasn't a lot of people down there living their truth. And so when I came down there, for me to be young as I was 19. For me to be young as I was, it just was a gag for people. And so people, the queer community down there, it kind of course, because it's a small town, it kind of, the word of mouth about me being there came out, and people like Yvonne, prior to her transition, will come to school, come to Jackson State, or see me out and about at the club, and they would give me my rides. They would be like, yes. And so I saw Yvonne, this is years later, at the Creating Change conference in last January, not January just passed, but the one before that in 2020, before COVID hit in March. So in January, there was a Creating Change conference, and she was there. And I didn't recognize her because I remember her pre-transition. So I'm like, hey, hi, how are you? She was like, Miss Diamond, you don't remember me? And I was like, oh, how am I supposed to remember you? Tell me. And she explained it, and I was like, oh my God, that's you? And yes, and she was like, she just gave me rides about how I impacted her back in the day, seeing me navigate. And so it was another testament in my life where, even though I wasn't intentionally trying to be a beacon of light for somebody, I was just kind of going through my world. My existence impacted their life. And now here they are on a whole documentary, and being the first Black trans woman to create a nonprofit that she runs in Mississippi. Legacy, baby. Creating a legacy to go down. I love it. I think it was amazing to see her on the show and to know her and to see what she's up against in Mississippi firsthand. I just, I love it. It's beautiful. And I thought it was shown how she's really just a Black auntie, because she's tipping through with furs and freeze curls from 90s, and she's tipping through like a Black auntie because she's an older woman. And so she's tipping with furs and heels, and it starts off her talking about going to a funeral. And when she's in the funeral, everybody is talking shit about her because she's coming in her truth, and they're talking shit about her. And then And then towards the end of her episode, she goes back. She's in that same church, and this church is particular, not the same church, but she's in the same church setting. But this church is in particular affirming and celebrating her. And I thought, oh my God, that was so amazing. She actually has a daughter that's on the show. And she remembers that same daughter was around when I was around, and she came to BTAC in 2018, and she was like, girl, I remember you at Jackson State before I transitioned, and you just inspired me so much. So it just seeing these two women be a reflection of not of me, but of a time when I was really trying to make shit change in that city, and to see them grow into their own powerhouses, I just feel so great. I feel great about, living there when I did. Yeah, I love her. Then we have, so yes, make sure y'all definitely watch that episode if y'all don't watch any other. Number 3 is good. Then the last one, last but definitely not least, was Shane Ortega. They are Two-Spirit. They are Two-Spirit. They are indigenous, and they are a military vet. So all the things that have been going on this whole 4 years about banning trans people and blah, 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 they directly were impacted by those military bans. And so seeing how they navigated the Native American culture in Idaho, because when you think about transness, do you think about Idaho? I know trans people exist everywhere, but every time I try to search for trans people in Idaho, like very little comes up. Because I wanted to do this project where on Marsha's Play, if you don't know, I have a podcast called Marsha's Play. I wanted to do this project where I featured a trans person from each state. And so I was like, well, is there trans people in Idaho? And I know that they are everywhere, but I'm like, how am I going to find a trans person in Idaho? So this is a trans person in Idaho. And so in my mind, it just was amazing to hear their perspective and see the Two-Spirit and his connection to indigenous culture and how it's and we always romanticize indigenous people by saying, oh, they always accepted trans people and Two-Spirit people, and they always existed in the Native American culture. But as we know from our trans activists that are in community with us, we learned that colonization and the impact of Christian colonization on Native American, one of the impacts is that residual of homophobia and that residual of kind of shifting their culture in regards to how they think about queerness and how they think about transness and how they even think about Two-Spirit people in their culture. And so they are not oblivious to the impact of colonization. They have not been exempt from Christianity. They have not been, the white man's Christianity coming in and affecting their cultural mores and cultural mentality when it comes to things that are outside of the cisheteronormative norm. And so for me, I thought that they did a great job in talking about those nuances. Yes, there is a history that we can document in the indigenous communities about trans people existing and being a part of the culture. But they're not, they affected, they have been affected by colonization and missionary shit. There's a long history. There's an episode called The Long Walk on Marsha's Play It is with UA Be Gay, and she is a Navajo two-spirit trans woman, and we do an interview with her, and yeah, I just thought that this was an amazing, um, nuanced conversation about transness in the areas that we don't associate with progression. That's why it's called Trans in Trumpland. And yes, I thought it was an amazing 4-part series. So if you have, Brandon said that it was on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, go ahead and check it out. It is really, really good. It was produced by trans people. It is directed by trans people. It is FUBU as fuck, for us by us. So make sure that you check it out. And let me see. Yeah, we got plenty of time to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Yes. Oh, wait. Before I leave it, there is a point that I wanted to make. While you are watching it, I want to point out that in the story, in the cinematography of the documentary, I love how it's not free on Prime. Yes, you have to get Topic. That's because I have Prime and wasn't able to watch it. I had to get Topic, but then now that I watch it, I'm gonna leave because I have too many streaming entities. So in the cinematography of the documentary, I love in the first episode with Ash, I love how they use the Confederate flag. They use these tropes of, you know, just the images of how Trump, Trump signs, Confederate flags, and all that kind of stuff, how they use it as a looming hate of where Ash was living. And it was quite interesting in my mind how I have never seen that type of cinematography put in juxtaposition with a white person. And Ash is white. And so usually you see that kind of hate, that kind of loom with the signs, because Confederate flag represents particularly anti-Black sentiments, racist sentiments. We know that is what that represents. Seeing a white person being shrouded as the victim in that land and in that landscape, in the rural area, I had never seen a white person be documented or put in that space where a white person is going through that and is the victim. And I thought that was quite interesting. How, that goes back to what we were talking about, Jesse, how even though they're white, these symbols still represent what they represent. And I thought it was amazing, not amazing, but it was quite the juxtaposition to see a white person being filmed with that kind of looming cultural heritage of hate and disenfranchisement and all those things, how all the cultural things that let you know that you're in Trumpland, seeing Ash navigate those things was quite interesting. Where can I watch it? I watch it on Amazon Prime, but you have to order this platform called Topic, because that's who owns it. And so you have to be subscribed to them through Prime or through somebody else, whoever it is. And I got it just to support. I got it temporarily. But there is a free trial subscription that you can use to watch it. Make sure y'all thumbs up. But yes. What else y'all want to talk about? Let me see what y'all done said. Oh. Don't leave out putting them on a pedestal. Yes, absolutely, Raven. They definitely put them on a pedestal, so it makes it easier coming into our community to be accepted. You know, when we think about the case, remember that case in Texas where the black guy and the white guy were having sex and they were trying to charge them with like sodomy or whatever. It was a landmark case where nobody caught them having sex, but because they knew they were gay and in a relationship, they were trying to charge them with having sex because it was illegal, technically illegal. And so they fought it and they won because what they do in their privacy of their own home, that's their business. But in that case, I noticed how the white person in the situation could come to the black community and get their life, but a black person coming to their community, the negative response to that is what caused the rift, what caused the consequences. The black person coming over. It wasn't the white person coming over. It's just like that's why it was so easy for Jeffrey Dahmer to to get the people that he got when he comes to kill, because he would go to the gay club and pick up black dudes, and he was this cute, handsome white boy. So of course it was like, ooh. And it was easy for him to get black men, black gay men. Are you still going to discuss admin? Yeah, I want to give admin its own video so I can break that down too and talk about that. I am still going to discuss admin. Oh, I need something to drink. Jeffrey Dahmer was ugly. I don't think Jeffrey Dahmer was ugly. I don't. It doesn't matter of taste. I don't. Who I thought was quite boringly unattractive was Ted Bundy, but everybody was saying he was cute. I talked about this the other day. I also thought that if he got his teeth fixed, the Night Stalker was fine as hell. If he got his teeth was horrible, but if he got his teeth fixed, his face structure was sickening. Mm-hmm. All right, so what y'all see? What y'all honey, what y'all doing? What's going on in your life? I thought Jeffrey was cute. I thought he was cute. I could easily see somebody like him. Did you watch the Billie Holiday movie? I am going to watch that when I get off of this live. I'm going to watch it because it doesn't come out. It doesn't come off and come on until either it's about to come on or something like that. What's on? Let me see what time it comes on. I think it's 9 o'clock. I think it comes on in about sometimes. Check and see what time it comes on, Brandon. I think it comes on at 9 or 10. Actually. Fuck, now I have to go back and see what y'all talked about. It's gonna It's gonna be still on. I keep the lives up. Long as I don't say nothing too spicy, I keep them up. We haven't talked about anything spicy. Woo. Let me pull this wig down. Yay. Glueless. Oh, man. Let's talk about the discussion about raising the minimum wage. 15. Who else do you feel needs to be done to help working class people in the U.S.? Am I growing my hair back? No, it's just white and black and it doesn't look cute. So I'm gonna wig it till I can dye it. Hey, Sparkle. Um, no, I haven't because of the shit that's going on in Texas with the snow and I haven't been able to do what I want to do. I just when it, my nails was blue the other day. Now I just got, the peach ones, and finally got my toes done. Everything is looking. I'm feeling like a lady. Previous to this, I was feeling raggedy. Yeah, so I'm not feeling. Now I gotta go do something about my hair. Get my hair cut because it's grown. I like my little box, so I'm gonna try to do that. I actually think Jess. Is it Jesse or Jess? Is that how you say it, Jess? Jess, I actually don't think that $15 is enough right now. I think that when we were initially discussing $15, it was enough. But now with inflation and with how our economic is good now, I actually don't think $15 is enough. But if we can get it to $15, that's fine too. But I don't think $15 is enough. I think we need more. I'm always about more. I'm a Black person, so I want reparations. And if I can't get it through reparations, I want to get it through governmental programs. I am a welfare queen, baby. I want it all. I'm not on welfare, but I wish I could be. And anybody who can be need to be on it. I want you to get all your coins, any free thing, free, any advancement fiscally. I want the government to pay. Do you think universal basic income is a more complete answer? I want everything. I want all of it, darling. All. I want whatever can help poor people better, live a better life. I want healthcare for all. I want basic income. I want or $15 an hour or more. I want all of that stuff. I want it all. United States versus Billie Holiday. Yes, we are going to talk about that. I don't know. I might do that live later, but I want free education. I want free healthcare, free education, anything that advances the quality of life. Anything that advances the quality of life of poor, Black and brown, disabled people. When we have programmings, and when I say that, I don't want you to think that other people who may not fit those demographics shouldn't get access to things. I want you to get access to anybody, long as we are creating programming policies to help the most marginalized. Anybody up from that is going to be helped. I want it all. I want it now. Yes. Also, get rid of private education because the whole stuff is a leech. Facts. Like charter schools and shit like that. Fuck out of here. I watched it last night after midnight. Oh, it came on early. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it. I thought that it was premiered today. Oh well, yeah, it will be today after midnight. So yes, I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna watch it after I get off this live in about 35 minutes. um, hey, Cupcake, how are you? So yes, I want everything. I want everything. I want what is old. I want whatever type of resources that can come back, that can circle back, that can be forcibly trickled down, because we know trickle down economics don't fucking work. Whatever we can push to get coins back into the poor people's hands, that's what I want. That's what I want. Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. It's like I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Oh, can't you see you're leading me on? That's just what I want you to do. Don't you know, dear, I'm helplessly lost. That's why I'm following you. Ah, But all of that, old friend in med school down in Caribbean, she's currently 2K in the hole, and it's gonna cost her 50K to complete her studies. Ooh, that is a lot of money for school. That is crazy. Especially how long is God, that's quite expensive. She must be rich if she can afford that. Baby, these motherfuckers ain't never gonna give me. I'm never gonna go give them no time for me. Mm, 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 mm. I wanted to go back and get my master's, but I'm lazy now. Now that I'm older, I'm lazy and I'm tired of fucking. Yeah, I ain't got time. I can only give you country walks in the springtime and a hand to hold as the leaves begin to fall, and a love whose burning lights warm the winter nights. That's all. That's all. I am sure. Justify the coin right now, but I would love to continue schooling. Me too. I am sure there are those who have told you they would give you the world for a toy. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and a love even time can't destroy. So if you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'll be glad to know that my demands are small. Say I'm the one that you adore, now and forevermore. That's all. That's all. Yes, it is on who I'm done with school, even if it's for free. I don't think I will go back. Oh, if it's for free, I will go back. I'm a studious person, so I will. If it's for free, I will go back. The process of learning is a joy. Yeah, I'm a studious person, so I like to learn, and I would be in school for the fun of it if it was free. Just having access to professors and their expertise and them teaching you about the shit. I love, even if I'm not too interested in a subject, somebody who is interested in that subject teaching me about it is kind of anybody who is enthusiastic about a subject, they teach it better. I need a flower in my hair. Do I have a flower somewhere? No, I don't have any flowers close. Mm-mm. I want to go to dog grooming I want to go for dog grooming, so I'm glad that it's not that expensive. Is there a school for dog grooming? That sounds fun. Vanessa, if you're still watching, go to that school. You love pets, and that seemed like that would be cool. There's a school for it, or is it everywhere? I need you to prepare a few Billie Holiday selections when we talk about the movie. I sung for y'all. I sung I saw God Bless a Child the other day for y'all. I don't know. That's the only Billie Holiday song. And I actually don't like melodically. I actually don't like Strange Fruit melodically. I don't like it. It's not a it's the lyric is great. I don't like the melody. Um it's not yeah, I don't like it in that sense. But I like the lyric. It's like there's a couple of songs that the lyric of a song is amazing, but the melody I don't like. Tracks of My Tears. Is it Tracks of My Tears by Smokey Robinson? Take a good look at my face. That melody, I don't like it. Like I like parts of the melody, but as a song as a whole, I hate the song as a whole. But the lyric was great. Like the lyric was epic. But that's how I feel about Strange Fruit. I actually don't like the melody. I like the lyric. I adore dogs so much, and I love being around them. Yes. It also doesn't take a long time to get certified. Less than a year. Ooh, that sounds like fun. So get good, look at your face. All these poodle mixes nowadays, girl, grooming is a lucrative business. I'm sure. The melody goes perfect for me for the mood of the song. Yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. The Man I Love, What a Little Moonlight Can Do, Them Their Eyes. The Man I Love. Yeah, I think A Little Moonlight is a good one I like. Um, yeah. Mm-mm. Billie Holiday isn't one of my isn't one of my favorite singers. I don't like her tone. I know her tone is what makes her, but she's kind of like the opposite of what I think about Sade. Like I only like Sade. The reason why Sade is the icon is because she doesn't do vocally hard things, but her tone is so nice and smooth, and it's like so nice. Like if you like a very dynamic to me, I don't go to Sade because I want some agile, dynamic, running, riffing and running type of sound. I go to Sade for her tone. And it's the opposite. It's the opposite for Billie Holiday for me. I actually don't like Billie Holiday's tone. What she is popular for, I actually don't like it. So that's why I haven't really got into her. I am more interested in Billie Holiday's story around the FBI. That's why I want to watch that, not because I like her music, um, or all her music. I like some songs, and I can understand being a music buff, why she is popular. I get it. She had a very unique, for the time that she came up, she had a very unique tone. It wasn't a tone that I liked, but I understand that other people loved it and I didn't. I'm more of a, around that era, I'm more of a Sarah Vaughan, um, of course, Ella Fitzgerald. I'm more of a Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald. That tone. I like agility. I like agile singers. I like runs and riffs and harmonies and shit. So of course somebody like a Brandy, those are gonna be my favorite people. So, but in that era, I'm gonna like Sarah Vaughan, Ella, because they give me the really pretty sound that I like, the tone that I like, and the agility that I like, in interpretation. Um, Andra did a good job in this movie, but her voice is so unique. I Is that her name? Audra, yeah, Audra, yeah. But her voice is so unique anyway. Yes, I do want to hear, because I actually don't like Audra Day's tone either. Ain't that her song? I didn't like that. I didn't like the song. Gotta walk it out. Ain't that her? I can't remember the name, but I don't like her tone either. So I'm quite interested in hearing her vocal interpretation of um, um, Billie Holiday. Don't mean to change the subject, but I have my first HRT appointment this afternoon. I should start on e-patches and T-blockers this weekend. Can't wait to start. Let me give you the Dolly Parton nail clap. Yay! Congratulations. I know that's a big step. That is huge. Congrats. All right, what else is happening? What else? Did somebody else make another suggestion? Um, what else? What have I been seeing? I don't have nothing else to talk about, y'all. Watch out for those mood swings. Yeah, I really have mood swings. I was emotional, more emotional, but I didn't really have moods, like drastic mood swings. Like things could get me emotional. Do you have an opinion on someone stealing Gaga's dogs? No. No. I do have an opinion. Like, did y'all need to shoot the guy for the dogs? Did y'all need to shoot him? Did the person that got shot, did they die? And didn't she put out like 500K reward for the dog? And Andre Leon Talley and allegedly being broke. Oh gosh, me and Arya talked about that, about him supposedly saying that he owns the home, but they're trying to evict him out of the home. I don't know. I just it's quite interesting to see him go through this, but as a black gay man, I'm like, did the fashion industry just throw you away? What them coins looking like? You saw how the men folks was quiet when Meek Mills disrespected Kobe, but Gail was all types of bitches. Yeah, I posted about that on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it. That was actually my mention of the day. One of my biggest tweets of last week, and people was it got retweeted like almost 300 times. I wonder, are the men folks who drag Gail over disrespecting Kobe gonna drag Meek for this with the same vitriol? Um, and it was actually a rhetorical question, but I know you can't ask rhetorical questions on the internet because somebody's going to respond. But I was being sarcastic. I knew that it wasn't going to be the same. They don't have the same energy for um, men that they have for women, particularly old women. Like you really, Snoop Dogg, you a punk ass bitch. You really went on fucking live threatening and calling Gail, old lady, old auntie ass, Gail King, dog ass bitches, and making threats, girl, Miss Thing, Miss Snoop Dogg, girl, honey. Go sit. What? Y'all didn't have that same energy with Suge Knight. Y'all didn't have that same energy with that motherfucker when he was making threats to y'all motherfucking ass. And y'all was forced into bullshit ass contracts and he was wearing y'all money out. Y'all didn't have that same energy to him. But all of a sudden you tough. You tough with Miss Gail. Girl. Mm. Yes, the fashion industry sadly threw him away. He was only a prop, absolutely. The industry is controlled by elite racers, true. And you done became a fat prop, and not a fat prop, you done became fat. Like, I feel like if he stayed skinny, it might be cute, but because you black and fat, oh, you got to go. The fashion industry gonna throw your ass so quick. Get out of here. You're a clown. Not the victim is still in the hospital. The victim is in the hospital. Gaga hasn't said anything about him. Um, her voice is like sativa and coffee at night. Oh, I love Sade's voice. Tacky. I haven't looked at Snoop the same since. So lame to me. Absolutely. That was a hard miss. Where does the audacity come from? Yeah. I just feel I don't know. Motherfuckers get real tough when they're talking about when they're talking about when it gets about black women, honestly. Particularly black men. They ain't got any kind of toughness for nobody else. Billy's voice is like a bump of cocaine chased with Hennessy and a cold. A bump of cocaine chased with Hennessy and a cold. Honey. And a pack of Newports. Yeah, the book that came out, the documentary, and the campaign. He should not be broke. What happened to his money? Well, from what I'm to understand, it's some misunderstanding. Is he? Was it that he's broke, or was it that he's? I just heard that he was evicted. It was just he was evicted, but he wasn't supposed to be evicted because he owns the home. That's what he's saying, that he owns it. So it's some kind of discrepancy. So that's what I want. My old auntie Moore's the long brown cigarettes. Hmm. Long and brown, baby. I don't know. I don't be trying to chase after. I don't know about who broke and who not, but I wouldn't think that he was broke. I don't follow him. He be boring sometimes to me. Andre Leon's Holly. It was a rent to own home based on the verbal agreement, not an actual contract. Oh wow. Oh, silly self. That's so silly. Can he prove the verbal agreement? Can he prove it? If you can prove the verbal agreement, then yes. I went to the dentist. Oh, my teeth look so white and pretty. Not pretty, but white and clean. Hi. Oh. I went to the dentist on Thursday, yesterday morning, and my my insurance only covered. I don't know. It was confusing. I gotta call them and see what it is. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to either switch or dentists or something, because the way they was describing how my it might be because she's not in my because she's may not be in my network for my insurance or something. So beautiful, so no. Wise. Oh, just so y'all know, I did an event about the intersection of I did an event for GLAD about the intersection of queerness, being queer in the South, and we talked about it. Is so many people on that panel. It was hosted by GLAD. The moderator was Raquel Willis, and it was me, Jennifer Balenciaga, Jasmine Tasaki, Ian Haddock, Dwayne. I don't know Dwayne's last name. um, a cisgender woman, her that is the executive director of the Her Initiative, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. But but yes, that is the. If you have time, we got only 10 minutes left. If you need something to watch, y'all can watch us talk about those things. Y'all know when you get smart black queer folks together, We definitely gonna show up and show out and preach for y'all. So make sure y'all watch that and comment and like and tag me in your comment. Let me know what y'all thought about what we were talking about. Let's see. If you own the home, they can't evict you. Somebody lying. Yes, they're done. He made her get a vocal coach because he didn't like her tone either. He actually didn't want her for the part till after they met. Wow. He said that? He said that publicly? He's such a, I would say he is such a tacky F word. I don't know. It's something that I just don't like about Lee Daniels. And it might be the situation. So it's just certain things I just don't like. I don't know. He is like the upscale. He is like the movie. Well, he's like a step up from Tyler Perry, maybe. How I feel about their work and contribution to Black culture, I feel like Lee Daniels is just a step up from Tyler Perry. So I'm never excited about his work. I was excited about this one because it is from the angle of United States versus um, Billie Holiday. And when I watched the one woman show about her life, and I learned so many things about how the government was wearing her out, I want to see something that reflects what was going on to give me a little bit more insight about that dynamic between her and the US government and the FBI, blah, blah, blah. So I'm excited in that sense, but I am never excited about Lee Daniels' work. Even when he's trying to be inclusive, like when he tries to bring the trans narrative on stuff, I'm just, he gives me messy queen, like messy older queen, and I don't like it. And then when I heard about the shit that happened between him and Dave, I'm usually never gonna get on the side of a cis man like Damon Dash, not Dave. I said Dave. When I heard the shit happen with Damon Dash, I'm usually never gonna get side of the cis man. But when I heard what happened, when I heard the stories and confirmed the stories, I was like, oh, he's really like trash. He's not a man of his word. He's really like trash. Motherfuckers help you get to this point and you couldn't even pay them back. And then that goes along with what was happening with how he played Monique. All this shit, I don't, it just, he puts a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to him and his work, and I don't like it. And so I don't really look forward to Lee Daniels' work. I mean, I don't know. Some people have spinning problems. Yes. I always look at Tyler Perry Medea as camp, like how scary movies had camp version of horror movies. Yeah. That's because they don't truly know the full real story because she was not open about it. Did y'all know Lady Sings the Blues was mostly fiction? Yeah. Yeah. I learned that from I learned that from Diana. Diana said it wasn't much. But yeah, I really am into I really want that. I really the director that I like so far that I've been really enjoying their work is that motherfucking Barry Jenkins. I've been really enjoying Barry Jenkins. Since Moonlight, he has really been giving me what I need, Barry Jenkins. But I don't really fuck with Lee Daniels like that. He doesn't minister to my spirit like that. So, child, no, thank you. I didn't like the butler. I liked certain elements. Like I liked Oprah's character in the butler. The image of her having an affair with Terrence Howard, and just her character sipping on a cocktail, being a regular black woman. I live. Yes, I love Moonlight. It's funny. That's funny that we bring that up. We only got 5 minutes. But me and my brother was having just like a deep conversation about transness and now that my brother is an adult and he has lived experiences to pull from, he can really analyze my life in a way that he couldn't when he was younger. So sometimes my brother will call me based on some thoughts that he was thinking deeply about, and he'll call me and ask me questions about things that happened in my past and how I felt about him now that he's an adult and I'm an adult. And so we were talking about my love life, and I remember he lived with me with my basically my first love with Jonathan, and first mutual love. Prior to that, it was Eric, who I talk about on not Gerald, but Eric, who I talked about on my Love Beneath series. And I recently rekindled with Eric, and me and my brother talked about the experience, and he referenced, my little brother referenced Moonlight, and he was like, when I saw that, he was like, although that's not my experience, like when I thought about it, I thought about some of your love life and how that could experience will be quite universal to so many queer folks. And for him to get to that conclusion as a cishet straight guy, for him to get to that conclusion with that film and sit down and watch it, because once people find out it's queer, some niggas don't watch it or won't watch it, blah, blah, blah. But him getting to that conclusion and really reflecting in regards to me was quite a reflection of what Barry did with Moonlight. Because I thought Moonlight was quite relatable, not as he got older, because of course I went the trans route, but any queer person, particularly queer AMAB person, assigned male at birth person, most of our younger years, prior to transition, if you're a trans woman, or if you are just a cis gay man, or if you're a queer woman or queer, anybody of gender identity dealing with sexuality, we've all had that straight friend that we sexually experimented with. Most of us, I won't say all because I don't know nobody else's experience, but most of the people that I know, we all had that love, that budgeting queer love happen with a person who didn't identify with being queer, or one that did, or usually particularly that straight queer. We all had that experience that Sharon had in his younger years, and particularly if you're a queer male or queer woman, trans woman, we also had that experience where that straight person failed us in the sense of joined in with the people that may be bullying you, or joined in with not claiming you, being on the down low, and laughing at somebody joking at you and laughing, failed you in the sense of being an ally with you or being on your side or being on the team, or failed to protect you. I think we've had not necessarily somebody who actually you had to fight, but I've had that too. I had to fight somebody who I actually was freaking with. because they were too busy trying to hold up their image of straightness and using me as a tool to hold that image up. And I had to twirl them. It's been a lot. And sadly, I have to twirl you, but I'm mad that I have to twirl you because I really don't want to twirl you because I like you. Honey, we all wish Trayvonte Rhodes loved us. We all wish he loved us. We all wish that. But yes, that's a quite. Moonlight was a magical film, not just in the context of what happened in the film, but also in the beauty of it. He know how to light Black people. When it comes to making their skin look beautiful and making them look beautiful, that Barry knows how to make them look good. They look, those are some fine people on there. I know everybody talks about Trevante because Trevante is fucking gorgeous, but I think Ashton Sanders is actually gorgeous too. Skinny self, he's so chocolate and cute. He looks so cute on Native Son. Yeah, I think he's actually cute too. But yes, y'all. So I'm gonna go watch Billie Holiday and see what the tea is, and I will talk to y'all later. I'll probably, because I might not want to do Billie Holiday as a live on Friday, so I might come and chat with y'all Sunday or Monday, just to kiki about it. Yeah, Sunday or Monday maybe. I'm not 100% for sure, but we'll talk about Billie Holiday sooner than Friday because I think I want to talk about Amend on Friday. So I'll do a whole separate day for talking about Billie Holiday, like on Sunday night or Monday night, late night. So be prepared. If y'all watch it, it's on Hulu. Oh yeah, my birthday's Sunday, but I can't do nothing because Corona, so I won't be doing shit. But yeah. Talk to y'all later. Make sure y'all thumbs up if you like to watch it. Oh, I love it. It's 38 people watching and 34 people have thumbed up. I like when it's close. Yay. Thumbs up if you haven't. And yeah, talk to y'all later.